phones, Babylons can't crack the
Early signing day for the 2021 college football recruiting class has come and gone. It is a time of happiness for some and despair for others. You see people commit out of the blue on these days to schools you wouldn't expect. People flip, people make their commitments and sign, people sign, and schools have a realization of who's going to be on campus for the next season. And yes, you have schools like Alabama, OU, Georgia, and schools like that who are going to get their recruits no matter what. But a school I'm going to focus on for today's video is Jackson State. Now, before I talk about Jackson State's 2021 recruiting class, I'm going to give you some background information on Jackson State and how they got to this point now. Jackson State is an HBCU school that has mostly played in the SWAC conference since 1958, and they have some very good football history in their program. They've predominantly been one of the top SWAC teams in their conference for years. Jackson State in football has won 3 national titles in 1962, 1985, and 1996, 16 SWAC conference titles, and 7 SWAC East Division titles. Despite all this rich tradition in the football program where Jackson State is used to winning, recently in these past few years, it has not been normal for them with their history and tradition in that football program. They have not experienced a winning season since 2013 where they went 7-4, and in the past 5 seasons they've gone 17-37, and it was time for change. So they brought in someone that could make change immediately and effectively. The guy they got to rebuild their program and make it back to what it used to be of a powerhouse on the SWAC level is none other than NFL Hall of Famer Deion Primetime Sanders. And in my opinion, Deion Sanders is perfect for Jackson State to get back to their ways of their rich tradition in their football program. He's a great coach, a great leader. He's played the game at the highest level you can play at and was known as one of the best to play in his position and one of the greatest athletes of all time. And name someone who says they do not want to play for Deion Sanders, because I can't think of anyone that would not want to play for him. In Deion Sanders' first ever recruiting class as a head coach, he showed up and he showed out. In the 2021 recruiting class for Jackson State, Deion Sanders and his staff focused a lot on getting players who were ready to play at the collegiate level immediately and could make a big impact for Jackson State right when they got onto campus. Deion Sanders did not have rebuilding on the top of his mind. Deion Sanders wants to win big, and he wants to win now. Deion Sanders needed players that could step up onto the Jackson State football team immediately and get some immediate PT and make an impact within the program right when they got onto campus. And he had a lot of focus on JUCO players and transfers. Some of the notable JUCO players he got was Jamie White, who's a weak side defensive end standing at 6'3", 245 pounds, out of Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Rasheed Lyles, Trinity Valley Community College, a defensive tackle, 6'2", 275 pounds. And the cherry on top for JUCO recruits for Deion Sanders' 2021 class for Jackson State is Dejon Warren. Dejon Warren is one of the best players in the country. According to the 247 Sports Composite JUCO rankings, Dejon Warren is the #1 quarterback in the nation and the second best JUCO player in the nation. Warren had a total of 33 Division I football offers, and some of them being Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Penn State, Florida, OU, Louisville, Oregon, Texas, just to name a few. And he was originally committed to Georgia all the way up to early signing day. Then he shocked the entire world, flipping his commitment from Georgia to be coached under a former Hall of Famer in his spot of defensive back, Deion Primetime Sanders, at Jackson State. Another way that Deion Sanders and his staff at Jackson State approached with getting more experienced players other than getting JUCO recruits was attacking the transfer portal. They got a total of 10 players out of the transfer portal, and a lot of them coming from Power 5 Division 1 programs. The highest rated transfer player that they got came out of Deion Sanders' alma mater and is a defensive back, Isaiah Bolden. And in the 2018 recruiting class, he was a very highly touted recruit and was even a top 250 player. Although Isaiah Bolden is in fact the highest rated transfer player that they got so far in their 2021 recruiting class, the most notable one came very early on early signing day. And that player was Shador Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, who is currently a redshirt freshman at South Carolina, who plays DB just like Deion Sanders did in his football career. Now, Shador Sanders, he played quite a bit for South Carolina this season. In the 2020 college football season, he had 32 total tackles and 1 pass deflection. Shador Sanders, coming out of the 2019 recruiting class, was a 3-star recruit, ranked as the 665th best player in the nation and the 62nd best cornerback in the nation. Originally committed to South Carolina until he transferred just recently to his dad's school, Jackson State, where he coaches at. And a notable thing about Shador Sanders is that he played a lot, and I mean a lot of football this year for the 2020 college football season against some of the top competition on the SEC level, and was even an Under Armour All-American coming out of high school. The 2021 Jackson State football recruiting class, according to the 247 Sports Composite, has a total of 3 3-stars coming out of high school, and the top player of their recruiting class, a 4-star quarterback coming out of Trinity Christian School in Cedar Hill, Texas, Shador Sanders. Shador Sanders is the highest rated recruit in Jackson State history. He is a 4-star recruit, ranked as a top 250 player and a top 15 pro-style quarterback according to the 247 Sports Composite in the 2021 recruiting class. Shador Sanders is probably going to be a day 1 starter at Jackson State, and I'm expecting him to do big things in his first ever season. And honestly, Shador Sanders is that kind of player where if you put him in any environment, he's going to succeed. According to the 2021 football recruiting class team rankings on 247 Sports, Jackson State ranks as 123rd in the national rankings out of all the Division I programs in the nation for football, and number 1 in their SWAC conference. Now, I will say this is probably the best recruiting class in a very long time, or maybe all time, for schools on the FCS Division I level, which Jackson State is on. And I'm going to be honest when I say this. I knew Deion Sanders would be able to get players like this in recruiting classes, and I know he's going to do better than this eventually in the future, but I did not know he was going to get off to this fast of a start. Deion Sanders has a lot of recruits in this recruiting class that can play immediately and make an immediate impact in the program, all from people who've already played in college, like some of the JUCO recruits, and people who have played on the Division I football level that are transferring to their program out of Power 5 schools or non-Power 5 schools who've already played Division I college football, to the under-the-radar recruits that they have. I feel like this recruiting class is really going to pave the way for the HBCU movement, for more recruits to take the HBCU option over schools like Alabama or UCF or anything like that, no matter how big the school is or how small the school is. I will put my foot in my mouth when I'm wrong, and I was wrong a few months ago when I thought Deion Sanders really wasn't going to be able to get a fast start immediately at Jackson State, and I was wrong. He's had an amazing recruiting class for this year, and I think he's only going to get better. And remember, this is only early signing day. National signing day is in February, and I think he's just going to get more recruits to commit to his team and join the HBCU movement. I think Jackson State with Deion Sanders is on a great pace to get back to where their program was, and that was a dominant football school on the FCS Division I level. Well guys, if you guys liked the video, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out!